hoping to find a friend and a lover. I'll bless the day I discover another heart looking for love. King of the road.
Howdy, folks. Jim King of the TV and radio here with a special treat today. You know, it's been, I guess, 45 years since Urban Cowboy came out, the film, and I've got Leon Beck here to talk to you about that. And we've got John Travolta. No, it's not John Travolta. It's the guy who that story was based on in real life. It was John and Betty, a.k.a. Bud and Sissy. We're going to talk to him in just a moment. And we're also going to play Urban Cowboy, the soundtrack, the video. That is on the right, Dew, and on the left we've got Mr. Leon Beck. You had a lot to do with Gillies. You were kind of a right-hand man to Mickey Gilley down there doing his marketing, weren't you?
Well, actually, my association with Gillies came by way back in 1974. My degree is in journalism. I cover country music, and I used to go out to Gillies starting in 1974. 73 is when I started covering country music. 74 is when I started going out to Gillies, interviewing Mickey Gilley and Sherwood Cryer, Mickey's partner, and I would interview the entertainers who came out to Gillies. And I mean, we had a lot of entertainers came out to Gillies, the biggest stars in country music. 76, I did my first interview with Johnny Lee. That was way before Looking for Love. All those years, that was called the Urban Cowboy era. And in my opinion, Urban Cowboy movie made a bigger impact in America than any other movie that I could think of.
We also have Dew Westbrook here. Dew, you actually are the guy that John Travolta played in the movie Urban Cowboy. It's based on your life, you and a young lady named Betty that you met way back in 1975.
Right.
So the story is pretty accurate in the Urban Cowboy movie?
It's pretty accurate how things happen, and it sometimes was a little bit different on when it actually happened, but most of the stuff in that whole movie was pretty much spot on, about 85% of it.
How did you like the movie? First of all, did you get invited to the premiere of the movie? Did they invite you? You and Betty?
No, they didn't. I was scheduled to do all of that, but it seems like the senior vice president of Paramount Pictures kind of got his feelings hurt when I told him what I thought, and so he didn't let me go to the premiere in New York. He didn't let me go to the premiere in California, and he didn't let me go to the premiere in Houston. And then he even tried to keep me out of Gillies that night, which that was a big no-no.
What did you say to cause that?
At the time when John Travolta was sitting in my living room on his birthday, we had several people in there in that room, in my living room there. And the man asked me what I thought about John Travolta playing my part. And I asked him, I says, "Are you sure you want the answer to this question?" And then I think Leon jumped in there and asked me a different question to change the temperature in the room right quick. And a few minutes later, that man asked me that question again. And I told him, I says, "Now, this is the second time. Are you sure you want the answer to this question?" And about that time, John Travolta jumped in there and asked the question. And he said, "Wait a minute. I asked you a question." And I turned to that man and I says, "Now, I want you to listen, and listen really easy. Listen real good. This is not hard to understand. I don't think John Travolta can play the part, but if he can, that shows what kind of good actor he is. But according to all the newspapers and everything else, they left out that second part." Now that made that man mad enough that he got up off my couch and walked out the door.
Wow.
Well, I guess the multi-billionaires never had anybody stand straight up to his face and tell him what they thought.
Right.
I'm not no butt kisser for nobody.
Well, that's Texas style right there.
John thought that was great. He said he loved that challenge, and he made it a challenge, and he did a good job, and I commend him for it. At that time in my life and everything else that was going on, I didn't think that was the right move, but they proved me wrong.